Hey beauties, it's Jazz and welcome to my YouTube channel, Amazing Beauty. We're going to jump right into this video and I'm going to be bleaching and toning the knots of the closure on this wig. I'm going to start off by taking some 20 developer and I'm just brushing it onto the closure. I'm doing this to try to pre-soften the knots. Even though most hair that you buy is supposed to be virgin hair, a lot of times the hair has been dipped in chemicals or dye or henna to give it a certain color. So I'm just doing this to try to get off any unwanted color and open up the cuticle of the hair so it can be ready for bleaching. I let this sit for about 30 minutes and then I rinsed it out and blow dried the closure. So now I'm going to take my Joico Blonde Life Lightening Powder and some 30 Developer and mix them together in the same bowl. I think 30 Developer is a good place to start when lifting your knots. If you're not comfortable with bleaching your knots, I would use a 20 Developer and just let it go really slow and keep checking on it. I think a 40 is way too high to bleach your knots with. You don't want to kind of fry the hair and cause it to shed. I think 1 scoop of powder is good to start with and kind of go from there until you get it to the consistency that you want it to be. I think a good consistency for your bleach is kind of like a toothpaste consistency. That way it's not too runny and it's also not so thick that you can't spread it across the closure. You could use anything you like to apply the bleach to the closure. I like to use a plastic knife. Because of the ridges in the knife, I feel like it kind of just presses the bleach into the closure perfectly. You don't want it to go in so far that it's on the hair, but you do want to make sure that the knots are saturated. You can use a brush or, like I say, anything you like as long as it's not something metal. So here I'm just going to lay a piece of foil right next to the closure to get it to process a little faster, and I just rolled up a towel and flipped the wig right side up. You don't want to process the bleach with the wig the other way because then the bleach will seep onto the hair. I went through the closure with the comb to make sure that no bleach was leaking onto the hair. After that, I let it sit for about 30 minutes and then I rinsed the bleach from the closure. Processing times vary from closure to closure. Like I said, some hair is treated with certain things and it may take a little longer for some knots to bleach than others. So I can't say exactly how long to leave your closure for. I would just suggest that you check it every so often and make sure that the knots aren't bleaching too fast. So after we've rinsed the bleach, this is how it would look. As you can see, the knots are a little brassy. They have sort of an orange undertone, which most hair does tend to pull when you lighten it. So I'm going to use this purple shampoo to try to do a little bit of toning and pull out some of those brassy orange yellowy tones. You want to make sure you don't use too much purple shampoo because it will tint your lace and give it a dark grayish color. So once I put the purple shampoo up there, I put a little bit of water up there and kind of mix it in, and then I let it sit for about 5 minutes. But just like the bleach, you want to keep checking the purple shampoo to make sure it's not tinting too much. So here I'm going to use a little hair color to further tint the lace. You don't have to use a permanent color. You could use a demi-permanent color like Shades EQ, but this was all Sally's had. I was looking for an 8NA, but they didn't have that, so I used an 8A and an 8N, the processing liquid, and also this clear processing liquid. I'm doing this step to further eliminate any orange tones that might be left behind on the knots and also to give the lace more of a scalp look. As you can see, once I saturated the bottom, I used what was left over in the bowl to get on the hairline. And then I also took the rat tail of my brush and I just went through the closure and put it throughout the hair. I can't remember exactly how long I let it process, but once again, I just constantly watched it to see how it was processing, and I just wanted to make sure that I didn't let it get too dark. So this is the finished product, beauties. I have my hand under there so you can kind of see how it's matching my skin tone. All of those dark knots are gone. Make sure to let me know in the comments if you learned anything from this video, any new tips or tricks. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.